episode 59, 5-1 Movies with Aliens. What is the species name? What do they call it?
A xenomorph.
Yeah, xenomorph. I knew
I'm
you'd
a
know
nerd. I knew that immediately.
E.T., can you say that? Can you say E.T.?
You ready?
E.T.
E.T.
We can talk. We can talk. Say it.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of 5-1. 5-1 is all about the countdown from our panel of experts on a different topic each week. Today, we are featuring the best movies with aliens in our style of counting down from
5 to 1.
Before we get any further, let's go ahead and introduce our panel of extraterrestrial experts. I am Chris, and I am joined by my two alienated sons.
Cade Moore.
My 14-year-old.
Heber Jeebers Jet.
My 11-year-old. And we are
5
to 1.
What?
Do you guys remember how to podcast?
Yeah, I was just laughing at Heapers.
Hebers. It's been a while, though, since we've been in our palatial 5-1 studios, right?
Yeah.
That's my fault.
Yes.
Work stuff, It's a busy time of year for me. But we should celebrate real quick because we have now been podcasting for 2 years.
Woo!
Happy birthday to
I
us.
hope you don't stop.
Yeah, there's no reason to. I just, I've been busy.
Busy.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, me too. Summer gets real busy for me.
Staying up all night, watching Netflix and playing video games and then sleeping all day. Jet, you've been doing the same thing, so don't look at him judgingly.
I'm just thinking about all the anime you watches.
He does watch a lot of anime.
I watched one anime series. Now everyone's making fun of me
He's
for
been
it.
watching a lot of anime the past week because he's been watching one series. Did you guys have any rules for your list about movies with aliens?
No Star Wars in the top 5.
Okay, so no
And
Star Wars.
you can't
for you.
use the same movie.
You can't use like
series.
Alien and Aliens, for example.
Yeah.
Or Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem.
Did you have any rules for your list, Jet?
I didn't do the Star Wars one. I just had no favorites. Just which movie has the most and reminds me of aliens.
My list, my rules were kind of similar. I chose movies that I thought like the alien part of the movie was very important to the story. So, for example, I don't have Star Wars, even though there are lots of aliens in Star Wars. It's not like central to the story. So, I kind of had similar rules too, I suppose. Did you have a hard time with your list?
I kind of did for
Kinda.
some reason.
Okay. All right.
you?
Well, yeah, in a way, because I didn't want to put my 5 favorites. Like I say this every episode. If I put my 5 favorites, we'd all have
Yeah,
the
we'd
same
all have the
list.
same exact list.
So I have 2 that I think all 3 of us will have, and then I have 3 of them that are unique, that probably wouldn't make my top 5 normally, but to give some variety to the show. And as a reminder to our longtime listeners, we have changed up the format a bit. So if you're looking forward to the fun fact of the week or Jet's pun of the week or any of the other cool stuff we do, we'll get to those once we are done with our list and with listener choices.
Are we ready to begin now?
We are ready. Hey, Cade,
Yeah.
what's your...
Number 5.
Independence Day. The first one.
The first one with Will Smith. And have you seen that movie lately?
It's been a while. I remember watching it a long time ago, though.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. It didn't make my list. I did like that movie.
I
when it-
wanted a little bit of variety.
Yeah, no, I did like that movie, and when it came out, I liked it a lot. I thought it was a really fun blockbuster type movie. Jed, have you seen Independence Day?
No.
You should probably see it. I don't think we own it, but we could rent it one time or something.
It might even be on Hulu or Netflix or something.
It could be. We'll have to check it out. Okay. Do you even know what it's about, Jet? Why it's called Independence Day?
No.
So we get attacked by... The Earth
Aliens.
gets attacked by aliens on the 4th of July, and when Will Smith beats them and saves the world.
Sounds a little bit like I Am Legend.
No, not really like that, except the only common aspect between the two is Will Smith.
Yeah.
All right, Jet, what's your number 5?
MIB. Also, Men in Black.
Another Will Smith movie.
Starring the guy from Fugitive who
Tommy
says,
Lee
I
Jones.
don't care.
Yeah, do your impression.
I don't care.
There you go. Nice.
And Will Smith, the everyone just knows Will Smith from Fresh Prince.
Hold on, we got to
and all
set
that.
this up a little bit better. I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care.
There you go. So Men in Black, that's a good one. We went on a Men in Black ride at Disney. Do you guys remember this?
Yeah.
No.
I kind of do. You had to shoot the aliens and stuff.
Yeah, it was a fun one.
But yeah.
Maybe Jet was too little.
I like Men in Black because it's kind of the lower good version of Ghostbusters, but it's still good.
I could see that because they're like going around corralling
Yeah.
aliens.
I think every Will Smith movie is always a good movie.
He's in a lot of good ones. I don't know if they're all good.
I think all of them are either pretty good or average.
He's one of the best actors of all time.
I feel like we talk about him a lot on this show because Cade, you've said on this show that he's like one of the best rappers of all time.
Oh yeah, I definitely do.
Which is obviously
His son
not
steals
the
the
case.
show. Jaden Smith? Is that his name?
The kid
Yeah, the one that was in the Karate Kid reboot.
And the one that Sal has a tattoo on his thigh of.
from
Impractical Jokers.
Okay,
A mural of Jade Smith.
nice.
Kind of want one.
No, you don't.
Anyway, moving on.
Okay, my number 5, The Last Starfighter.
Oh,
I saw this on a bunch of lists.
Jet, do you remember this movie?
it's the one where literally the ships just look like a 4-year-old drawn it.
Okay,
and
drew
put
it.
in a movie.
It's a very early CGI, and for its time, it was really nice and advanced CGI. It's dated now. It came out in 1984. Your classic mid-'80s sci-fi movie. It's about a teenager from a small town with big dreams of
What's
getting
his name
out
again?
of a situation. Luke Skywalker. He's very Luke Skywalker-like, right? I don't remember his name. He ends up beating the high score on an arcade game,
Alex.
and
The
Is
arcade
it
game
Alex?
was
Yeah, I think
was
so.
actually a testing program.
that's right. And he gets recruited to become a starfighter, trying to save the galaxy from some like really weird-looking aliens.
And all
Which he doesn't want to do.
Yeah,
And then they bring him back, and he's like, "I don't want to do it." And then they bring him back again, and he does it.
but he's still like, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
He's
all the starfighters die except for him, so he's the
the last starfighter.
yeah.
Every single one was positioned in one base.
So this
In a
isn't really
rock.
my 5th favorite movie with aliens, but it's on my list for 3 reasons. Number 1, we just recently watched it together, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it too. So there's some recency effect going on there. Number 2, I knew neither of you would have it, so we got some variety. And number 3, though it's clearly dated, it does have some long-lasting pop cultural impacts, including an awesome book called Armada, written by Ernie Klein, that Cade has read. Jet is just starting, who also wrote Ready Player One and Fanboys, and it's a really good book. So
I love Armada.
if you're out there and you've read Ready Player One and you liked it, you should read Armada. It's not as good, but it's still really good. And if you haven't read Ready Player One, what's wrong with you? Go read it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Cade, what is your...
Number 4.
Total Recall.
I almost put that on my list. That's a good one.
An awesome movie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in his like prime, with big muscles
Biceps
and
and-
action movies and one-liners. That's a good one. Jad, you've seen Total Recall, haven't you?
I know what Total Recall is.
I know.
The one where the eyes are just popping out.
Yeah, when he's
the
on
last
Mars.
fight where he gets his arm cut off.
What about the girl with 3 boobs?
Yeah.
What about the escalator
That's
scene?
disturbed me forever.
Can you remember the girl with 3 boobs?
I do a bit. Didn't she have a pink bra?
I think so.
Pink
And there was
bra.
like a midget with a machine gun. You're not supposed to say midget. I'm sorry. A little person with a machine gun.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
I remember the escalator scene where they're like using just like bodies that are around them just to stop the bullets from attacking them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great one, Kate. I almost put it on my list. I'm glad you did. That's a good call. Total Recall. What'd you guys think of the remake?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, me either. Was it good?
I didn't want
I
to.
thought we watched it. I know I've seen it.
We didn't see it.
Okay, I thought we watched it in the theater.
Did you like it?
It was all right. It was all right, but the original is clearly superior.
Is the original actually good though?
I mean, it's good in the way that Arnold Schwarzenegger action movies are good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I liked it. All right, Jet, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Honorable mention for me.
Not Volume 2,
Same here.
people. Volume 1.
All right, so why is it your number 4?
So, the first thing is, this is a lot more different than most Marvel movies. In fact, all of them are kind of more criminals than heroes, but they just have to do the right thing. So, it's obviously really funny, But the thing is, with the second one, I felt like it was a little too funny at times, and the story is ridiculous when you sound it out.
Yeah.
They steal batteries, so they have to go to this random planet. And then Star-Lord meets his dad, which is a planet.
Yeah, it was weird.
And Vader is just like, oh, join me, father and son. We can rule the galaxy. Then Ego's like, I wasn't going to do that, you know.
Yeah. I liked the first one a lot better for sure. And I didn't include this on my list because although there are lots of aliens, it's not a movie about aliens.
Yeah.
But it's close. That's why it made honorable mention for me. I love this movie mostly because of Chris Pratt. I think he's awesome.
Yeah, except I kind of didn't like him as much after Volume 2.
Really?
Out of all of the things, I only wanted to include one, like a superhero movie.
And this wasn't it?
And it was. It's honorable mention.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant on your top 5. Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's a good choice. I even love the beginning of that movie. I didn't know what to expect because I don't really know anything about that area of comics. So the first time I saw it, I was hooked right away because the beginning he puts on his little cassette player, Walkman tape, and he's like dancing while he's doing his stuff. And then all of a sudden he's badass. And you're like, oh, okay, I get into this. Chris Pratt makes that movie for me. There's other funny parts too. You know, the raccoon is funny. Groot is funny. Bautista, whatever his character's name is, funny.
Drax.
But Chris Pratt, man, he carries that film. All right, good choice, Jet. My number 4, I don't know if you guys have seen this. I don't think you have, and it's going to get added to our movie list because you have to watch it. It's another mid-'80s sci-fi movie, coming-of-age movie, just like the last one, released in 1986. It's called Flight of the Navigator. You ever heard of it?
No.
It's about a boy that makes friends with this like alien ship that can do like really cool things like time travel and tell funny jokes. And I adored this movie as a kid. Really, really, really fun movie, adventure movie. It's been a really long time since I've seen it. I want to see how it holds up, and I want to watch it with you guys to see if you like it too.
Yeah.
All right, we will watch that soon.
Now, there was another movie I almost picked for this spot because it's kind of similar, but I held out because I think one of you might have it. I think Jet might have it. So I'll save it. We'll save it.
I'm gonna save it, but never mind. I just won't say anything.
Yeah, don't say anything. So I think Jet's going to have this other movie that I left off my list because otherwise it would have been my number 4, but I think you might have it. All right, so let's move on. Hey, Cade, what's your...
Number 3.
The Predator.
Predator. Nice.
No, The Predator.
The Predator?
Yeah, The Predator.
Predator, I left off my list.
Same here.
What?
I had.
Do you have Predator 2? If you do, I'm going to slap you.
No, I do not have Predator 2. I left Predator and Alien off of this for a reason.
Okay. I had to pick... I'll let you talk, Cade, and then I'll tell why I didn't pick Predator.
I love Predator.
Stick around.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like, even without the Predator in it.
Get to the chopper!
It's still awesome.
It is an awesome movie.
I love
totally
this
agree.
movie. I probably love it the most out of all of you. But it's just, this movie only has one alien. And Alien only has one alien. But we're not talking about Aliens.
Yeah, the first one.
Yeah, the first one.
So, okay, my deal was... There are 3 movies that should obviously make all 3 of our list, and Predator is... I'm not going to say the other 2. Predator is one of them. I decided to leave that one off because I knew somebody would have it, and I only wanted to pick 2 of the very common movies.
I was really struggling on what to do with my list. I might have the next 3.
Okay.
My 3.
Also, Predator, I always saw, honestly, is such an action movie to me. With all the first scene where they're shooting all those people in that camp and stick around and all that.
Yeah.
That's more of an action movie than just one alien that's invisible for most of the movie.
It's close for me. I want to say it's probably my second favorite Arnold movie behind Terminator 2, but it's really close. I mean, it's right up there for me. Yeah. It's a classic.
Besides
movie.
Arnold, who was your favorite military guy?
Poncho.
Who's Poncho?
Poncho. It's the guy that he says get to the chopper with the girl.
Oh, you're talking from the movie.
Yeah.
I thought Cade was just asking actors.
No. I was talking about from the movie.
Oh, okay. Well, Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed. Yeah. The handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they arm wrestle in air.
It's so
yeah,
sweaty and muscular.
oh yeah, he was my second favorite for sure. Okay, so Predator is I love Predator, and it's not on my list, but you know why? I've already explained why.
That's just the way it is.
Just the way it is.
I might have put it on because you guys might have left it off because of that reason, and then we can still talk about it.
My
True.
number 3 is a really obvious one. It's E.T.
Okay, wow, that's low.
It can't be so obvious.
Okay, so why is E.T. your number 3?
Well, first of all, I can't say how many movies I've seen before the opening where Elliot's riding on the bike with E.T. in
Across
his
the
hoodie.
moon.
Yeah.
Any movie made by Amblin Entertainment, and that's Steven Spielberg's
There's
company.
so many movies with that.
Yeah, I mean that is a classic scene for sure.
It's so awesome.
I'm going to save my comments for when I get to it on my list, but do you have anything else you'd like to add about E.T.? Why do you love it?
Well, I just love it because E.T. is just like a sad movie. Like, I thought at the end, the alien would just be all happy with the family. And then he survived miraculously by the frozen thing. And then he went back home in his little spaceship.
It was sad when he thought he died,
When he
and then it
departed.
was sad when he left at the
I
end.
think it would have been honestly better if they kept him dead.
What?
Why?
No.
It
When
would've
he
been-
comes back to life and the flower blooms, like that part is amazing. Come on. Then they have to escape, and the kids help, and they all get in the van, and that
Okay,
tube
One
is hanging
Piece-
from the back.
Yeah, and then they're all riding on the bike, and then that one girl flips the van over the bike.
That's the ET ripoff, Stranger
Yeah.
Things, season 2 or 1.
One.
That's two when
I
she
think it was
flips the
season
van.
2. Yeah, she uses her power and makes the van
Dude,
flip over.
they're riding on the bike, and then he flips the van, and then all of them meet up, and then Lucas and Dustin was like, "Come on, Lucas, that was awesome." She flipped the van over,
Yeah.
And she passed out.
and then Lucas got all mad, and then
Season
11,
1 then.
boom,
I think you're right, season 1.
season 1.
Good call, Jet. All right, so anything else about ET?
I love it.
What's the first when I say ET, what's the first thing you think of?
Phone home.
What about you?
Huh?
When I say ET, what's the first thing you think
Wrinkles.
of? Okay.
E.T. phone home.
For me, it's Reese's Pieces.
It's obviously. And
I don't think I've ever had
finger.
Reese's Pieces.
And I think a light bulb all the time.
From
Like,
his peanut butter
from his
cups.
finger?
yeah, a little light
I
bulb.
don't think I've ever
in
had.
his
I don't think
finger.
I've ever had just Reese's Pieces.
Yes, you have.
I
Come
don't
on.
remember eating them.
Oh my gosh, they're delicious. You can't have them, Jet, but Kate, you would love them. They're so good.
Jet, you would probably like.
Next time we go to the movies, you get some as your
All right.
candy instead of whatever chewy, fruity candy you usually get. Okay, my number 3. I don't know if you guys have seen this one either, but I loved it. It's newer than my 2 previous choices. It came out in 2011, but has a very 80s feel to the
Martian?
movie. Nope. It is directed by J.J. Abrams and produced by Steven Spielberg, so it makes sense that it feels like an 80s movie. It's called Super 8.
Never heard of it.
Have you heard of it, Cade?
The name is like
Familiar?
kinda
It's about
floating
it's another
around.
coming of age movie, which apparently I like a lot. It takes place in 1979, and these kids are making a movie on a Super 8 camera. It's like a really old camcorder, and they witness a catastrophic train crash. And the movie's them discovering more.
I think you were watching it, and I
Yes.
started watching it, and then I fell asleep. Or
I think you're
something.
right. I think you're right because I was watching it in the bedroom.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they learn throughout the movie that it's more than just a crash. Obviously, since this is on an alien list, it's got alien involvement. Really, really, really fun movie. Had a lot of kind of reminds me of Stranger Things a little bit in the way that it really captures that 80s vibe. And it's fun and it has a touch of scariness to it. Not as scary as Stranger Things, but still enough to be interesting.
So it's overall pretty good, but not as good as Stranger Things.
Well, Stranger Things is a show and this is a movie, so it's hard to compare. I would probably say I like Stranger Things more, at least season 1, but for a movie, this was great.
Yeah.
A TV show gets a lot more time to explain things and have story. A movie gets 2 hours, so it's hard to compare. Anyway, hey, Kate, what is your
Number 2.
Alien.
Alien? Nice. Why is Alien your number 2?
Because it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm happy the cat never died.
That's right.
I didn't want the cat to die. I really didn't care about anyone else but the cat.
What about what's Sigourney Weaver's character's name? Ellen Ripley.
Oh.
Oh, I love Ellen Ripley.
She is one of my favorite movie heroes.
I know, she's awesome
She
to
is
me.
amazing. I feel like a lot of movies have tried to get another Ellen Ripley character in there, and you just can't do it.
She's awesome.
Yeah, even all the follow-on Alien sequels that have come out, and they're good in their own right. Some of them are good. They all try to have this strong female character, heroine, and they never pull it off. You can't duplicate it. Can't recreate that.
And like that's like got to be the most intimidating alien there is.
For sure.
Just
And
like looking at it, it's like
Alien
wow.
is also my number 2, so I'll go ahead and talk about it now also. Okay, so the usual debate is Alien or Aliens. I think all of us in here prefer Alien.
Yeah.
I do.
You do too? Alien is more suspense and like edge of your seat. Aliens, the second one, is
It's
a lot of
action.
action. It's really good. They're both classics, and I love them both. But I definitely prefer the first
The
one.
number 2, the one of the best parts though is where the robot and the queen.
Oh yeah, that part is really cool.
It's like a way better Transformer fight.
Yeah, that was really cool. And I loved. I mean, there's just a lot of like classic scenes, like the knife scene with the robot when he's going between his fingers real quickly.
And then he starts bleeding, and you see mayonnaise.
It's like
pop
milk
out.
almost. Yeah.
That's scary.
So this is this movie to me is near perfect. It's thrilling. It's well written. It's scary when it needs to be. It's amazing. The Alien universe has gotten stretched too thin, in my opinion. They've had too many movies, and not
Like
all of them are good. And then they
Prometheus,
combined it with
Covenant.
Predator, and those were really bad. And none of
Those
them
were great.
None of them come close to like the energy of this movie. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. And for me, it was either Alien or Predator that I was going to put on my list.
Alien.
And I picked Alien.
Yeah. Okay.
Jed, do you have anything to add about Alien?
I love it.
I know you love it. What is this? This is a little trivia question. I think Jet knows it right away. I don't know if Cade will. What is the species name? What do they call it?
A xenomorph.
Yeah, xenomorph. I knew
I'm
you
a
know
nerd. I knew that immediately.
it. Hey, nerd is okay in this room. That's for sure.
I thought it was the geek was the better one. The nerd's like the smart one. And
Yeah,
the geek
I've
is
talked
like
about this
I'd rather be a
before.
nerd.
I
be
mean,
honest.
whatever. Doesn't
Wait.
matter.
Okay, yeah.
All right,
dork is the worst.
agreed. All right, Jet. What's your number 2?
The number 2 I picked, I actually haven't seen, but it's like the only horror movie I'm actually interested in,
Okay.
and that is called The Thing.
Ah, okay.
Literally,
Isn't
The
that an
Thing.
old one?
It is.
It's like, and I saw a movie clip. Well, I've just heard about this movie, but I looked at a movie clip, and it's pretty terrifying, even for when it came out, where he does this, and then the stomach opens, and
I
takes
saw
off
this
his arm.
movie as a kid. It was kind of. Do you remember when we watched it together, Stephen King's
Yeah.
It, the original? And I hadn't seen it since I was a kid. I remember being really scared of it as a kid, and when we watched it as an adult, movies have changed a lot, and it wasn't
Yeah.
as scary. I think The Thing would probably be the same thing. I saw it as a kid. I remember thinking it was scary when I watched it.
It looks terrifying. It's just like huge.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it in a long time. I barely remember it, to be honest.
But I definitely consider that being a huge, glorious alien.
So I like this pick. It's interesting that you picked it. I'm surprised for your number 2 you picked a movie you haven't seen.
Well, I want something different. Gotta spice up the show.
I'm all for it. The Thing. Okay, Jet. Well, my number 2 was Alien. We've already
already
talked about it.
discussed it.
Let's go ahead and move on to
We already discussed about
Number
the
one.
E.T.
yeah, E.T. But do you have anything else you want to add?
I've said everything.
Okay, I'll say a little bit. One of the best films ever made, period. It's one of the biggest films ever made, too. In fact, it held the record. It broke the record the Star Wars set back in 1981 or 2 when it came out for the highest grossing film of all time. And it was eventually passed, but it's still way up there. And when you adjust for inflation, it's like number 3 all time behind
What's-
Star Wars and Gone with the Wind.
I haven't seen Gone with the Wind.
I've seen it. I mean, it's a classic, too, but it's really old. It's from like the 40s or something like that.
Oh.
We talked about this already, but I still like to eat Reese's Pieces at the theater because of this movie. When I see a movie, I think I need Reese's Pieces because of this movie. I usually get Milk Duds anyway.
Yeah.
But I do get Reese's Pieces sometimes too.
I need to try Reese's Pieces. I haven't had them in a while.
They're really good.
And Reese's peanut butter cups are kind of okay.
Overrated. They're good, but overrated.
They taste like protein bars.
A little bit. And they're a little chalky a little
Yeah.
bit. But this movie's fun. It's adventurous. It's emotional. It's well written, and it stands a test of time. Love, love, love this movie. Also, for me, why it's my number 1, and I'm surprised you didn't bring this up, Jet. Maybe you don't remember. Jet, you went through a period where you were like all about E.T.
I
You
love
sup
E.T.
with that little.
His stuffed animal.
We happened to be going on a trip to Orlando when you were in love with E.T.
And I saw a girl have an E.T. stuffed animal. I was like,
That's
"Give
all
me
you
that."
talked about, like the whole trip, until we finally got to the E.T. ride at Universal Studios, which was amazing. Like, it was so cool. It wasn't like
I
a
love
super fast
E.T.
roller coaster, but the visual effects were really cool.
Teal.
It was super fun. It took you on a trip to like E.T.'s home planet. Do you remember this?
I even
and it was like you were flying on the bike.
After that, I installed an app of ET where you would go to his home planet and like grow a foundation.
Yeah, I remember that. And I've heard that ride has been closed down since then, or it's going to be closed down. But I'm so glad we got to go on it. I'll never forget that experience. Jet, you carried that ET plush around with you. You slept with it. You in the car and in the hotel. And I have some adorable pictures of that. For Christmas that year, you got like a set of ET action figures, and it came in this. It was old school. It was like from the 80s, and it came in this like clear
I would play,
ship that looked like ET ship, and you could open it and take out the characters.
I would have like Darth Vader kill a Jedi, and ET would be like, "I'll come back to life."
I'm so glad you said that, because this is a fun fact about ET. You guys already know this,
Yeah.
but some of our listeners might not. So check this out. In ET, when they go trick or treating for Halloween. And ET has the ghost costume on. He sees a kid dressed as Yoda, and he like follows him, and he says home or something like that. Like he recognizes Yoda, implying that maybe Yoda or maybe his species exists near where ET is from. Okay. Many years later, Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, comes out in theaters, and there is a very brief scene where you can see ET's species in The Phantom Menace.
It's like
It's clear too. Like
ET.
you can definitely
tell.
see
It just
them.
happens very quickly. It's in the Senate chamber and those Senate pods that are around the Senate chamber. And George Lucas
I
named
think
them.
there's multiple of them too.
There's like 3 or 4, yeah. And George Lucas called them Grebleeps as their species, which is Spielberg backwards.
Sounds cool.
So it's
Yeah,
official.
Grebleeps.
This is where the rubber hits the road, though. It's official that E.T. exists in the Star Wars universe. In the movie, E.T., who can heal things with his hand and make things fly with his mind, like the bikes across the moon.
Is that just the Force
E.T.'s a Jedi.
or Sith? You never know.
He's light side.
Jedi.
Come on, he's Jedi. E.T. is a freaking Jedi. Boom. That's what I wanted
His
to say.
finger glows light, so it's like
Yeah, it doesn't.
obvious.
Well, but his chest grows red.
All right, are you ready for my number one?
Yeah, Jet. What's your number one, bro?
My number one
wait.
starts with a T. The Never-Ending Story.
What?
This is by
Those are
far-
not aliens. Come on,
Dude, the flying pink thing, the huge turtle, all of those things are aliens.
No, they're not from another planet. They're from a kid's imagination.
the huge. You don't
On
know
another
that.
planet.
Is it? He made 3 magical wishes that tore up those bullies and all that. And he
Wait,
said,
he had 3 wishes and he didn't get money?
Get in your mic.
What?
anyway, yeah.
Okay, I
down.
love the Never-Ending Story and the best character, Mr. Coriander, very much. But come on, man, that's not an alien movie.
That is an alien movie.
Okay.
That is an alien movie. I don't care what you say. It has aliens in that movie.
You know, I was struggling with my number one.
It's got Mace Windu in that movie.
Yes, I know. It's an alien movie.
It's Mace Windu combined with Ki-Adi-Mundi because he's got like the tall ridge on his head.
Yeah, that's obviously an alien. It's not some sloth guy. It's
Not an alien. It's a kid's imagination.
Well, that kid's imagination has aliens in it.
Okay, fine. I'll give it to you. It's a stretch, but whatever. That's
I
like
mean-
saying Cars is a sports movie.
I was about to say, like, you know, mine was a stretch too at Cars. I mean, it's like racing. That's a sport.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, you better count that.
We'll count it, whatever. You know I'm lenient
It's
on
more of
those.
a stretch than Cars.
You can interpret as you wish, but it's not an alien movie.
It is an alien movie.
All right, anything else to say about your non-alien number one?
I love it. It's amazing.
Sing the song.
Never-ending story.
Say the words. I'll just mumble. All right, Kate, do you have any?
Honorable mention.
I had a few. I was little, but I really enjoyed it. It was the Godzilla movie that we watched. I know it's not like a really good movie, but I thought it was fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I enjoyed Pacific Rim a long time ago.
Yeah.
Men in Black, Guardians of the Galaxy was the one superhero movie I let me have,
Yeah.
and IJKOTCS.
Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Yes.
Oh, man, I'm on fire for getting that. That is an alien movie. You're right. Because
Got aliens.
Yeah, it's got aliens.
I don't
Like
really
5
like it
of
though.
them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's worth an honorable
It was
mention.
fun.
It was fun. It was by far the worst Indiana
You
Jones
know what would
movie.
have been
but
really cool if Kate Blanchett was just fighting Indy and he said, "You know what? I'm just gonna get my own sword." And she was like, "Shing, shing," and started throwing
I
swords
liked her
at him.
character a lot.
yeah, it would have been cool if she turned into like all Galadriel and got all crazy dark voice.
And he got that black, like a bunch of black lines and
Yeah.
yeah, huge crown.
Jet, you got any honorable mentions?
No.
Oh, and Transformers 5 the last night.
Yeah, right. Okay, I had Aliens, which obviously I didn't include on my list. Star Wars, I had to at least put an honorable mention because, it's Star Wars. The one that I did not include because I thought Jet would have it was Batteries Not Included.
That's not aliens.
Is it robot?
They're alien robots. The ones that come down and fix up all the stuff.
Yeah. I just thought of those as more robotic.
What would you count Wall-E? I saw that on a bunch of lists.
Yeah, I don't know if I count Wall-E.
I saw it. I was looking online movies.
They're like Earth beings that are in space, but I don't remember seeing any aliens.
Yeah.
And
Well,
Wall-E's like a robot.
it's like it's just like thinking that the never-ending story is not an alien movie.
Yeah, get out of here with it. Predator, Total Recall, we talked about those. Interstellar, really good movie.
What is that movie, Pulp Fiction? I keep hearing
Pulp
about.
Fiction is not an alien movie. We'll talk about that at another time. I had Stargate, Jet, Oblivion. Do you remember that movie?
I loved
I
Oblivion.
like that one.
The guy that had that.
Was
Was it Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise, yeah.
and he had that huge white, white gear, and he had a clone.
And there was like flying robots, and they had to shoot them down with guns and stuff.
Yeah. How about Ender's Game?
I heard of it.
We've watched it, Jet.
Oh,
Maybe
I
you
love
don't
that
remember.
book.
Yeah, great book.
The
great
book
movie.
is so fun.
Starman, you guys haven't seen that. Starship Troopers, I don't know if you've seen that. That's a fun one.
Isn't that, what's it called?
Are you ready for
Isn't
more?
that satire? Like a
Yes.
big satirical
Satirical
movie?
is very yes,
Making
but
fun of like how the military goes to war and like
yes, it is. That's the whole point of the movie. But it's disguised as this very clever and fun space movie.
I read about this actually. Like
You would like it, I think, a lot. I think so.
I always felt like
And it shows a little bit of boobs.
I always felt like Mission Impossible was an alien movie because when they took off the mask, they looked so realistic. Only an alien could do that.
And Contact was and Guardians of the Galaxy. So,
Yeah.
all right. Cade, what do you have for...
The worst.
Space Jam.
Okay. Didn't we talk about that last episode
That's
too?
my worst also. I hate this movie.
Yeah?
It's actually terrible.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
Michael
going between
Jordan.
this and Ewoks, The Battle of Endor.
Yeah.
That's a pretty terrible.
Those aren't terrible. They're meant for kids. They're meant for little kids. So keeping that in mind, they're not terrible little kids movies. But if you're going in expecting it to be original trilogy, then yeah.
Yeah, but
Doesn't
Space
mean
Jam is terrible, and no matter what anyone says, it's not good.
It is a bad movie. All right, Jed, what's your worst?
My worst is Batman versus Superman.
Okay, another hero.
Yeah,
That movie was not great. I
No.
mean,
and they had Gal Gadot.
I don't. Spoiler
Yeah, it did.
alert!
You're right.
Spoiler alert for whoever cares about Justice League. I'm sure no one does. But Superman comes back to life miraculously by dumping him in a pool of a lake.
In a pool of a lake?
Well,
He comes back as Jason Voorhees.
You know how Zod got reborn by some of that
yeah.
goo? They did that for Superman. He's alive again.
Okay. We watched that, and in the end, it didn't it have like something like the dirt was rising or something.
But they never even covered that in
Interesting.
Justice League.
Yeah, man, DC doesn't know how to do movies. They just fail
they
every
only
time.
had like 2 good movies: The Dark
They had
Knight
good
and The
shows.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
They have good shows.
I haven't watched them as
Arrow.
much as you guys have. So.
Marvel honestly has better shows.
Marvel Netflix shows are very good. Yeah.
Luke Cage.
All right, my worst. It's one of those. I do this every episode. It's not that it's horrible.
It's
It's
just
just that it's
overrated.
way overrated. And this movie, in my opinion, it's not bad. It's a good movie. It's a decent movie, but is the most overrated movie of all time because it is the #1 worldwide box office movie.
What?
Made more money than any other
Avatar.
movie. Avatar, yes. And I know that. It's because it was one of the first like 3D movies, and 3D was becoming a big thing, and that 3D ticket prices are like twice the price of normal ticket prices, and it boosted sales a lot. So it's inflated because of that. But when you have the claim as the #1 movie of all time, it's got to be a phenomenon. It has to be impact pop culture. Star Wars impacted pop culture, and it will forever. It's everywhere. Titanic impacted pop culture. People go, they do the impression every time they
And
go on a
Titanic
cruise.
too.
Yeah, right. People do the impression of I'm king of the world every time they go on a ship, like it's been 84 years or whatever. Like the old lady. There's impact to pop culture, and it will always be that way. Avatar has none, and for being the biggest movie of all time worldwide, not domestic because that's The Force Awakens, but worldwide. It just drives me crazy that it's not a movie that has this huge impact. And I didn't dislike it. It was fine, but way overrated. It's my worst.
It doesn't seem good. It's just some blue people.
I think watch all the way through it. I didn't care.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't really. I mean, it's good. It's not one of those movies that you just love. I mean, there are people that love it, I'm sure, but not me, not us.
I'm sure it looks good in 3D.
Yeah, I mean, it was visually a beautiful movie for sure. All right, are we ready to move on to
Listener choices.
We asked social media, what is the best movie with aliens? And we got, as of the time I cut off voting, 123 votes.
Dang, last time I saw it was only 43, man.
1, 2, 3.
You only looked on my Facebook page, man. We got more votes from Twitter than we did on Facebook.
Dang.
Yeah, Twitter has
Twitter.
Twitter has become our best way to interact with the show. We got a lot of votes there. Anyway, I will go through the top 5. Number 5, Men in Black got 5 votes. Number 3, tied for number 3 and 4, was Independence Day and Aliens, the second one. Alien did not make the top 5, which is very surprising.
I feel like Rotten Tomatoes and like actual critics are better, you know, like you said.
Alien.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alien is better for like actual critics, but IMDb is more for the fans. And so I feel like Aliens would be...
IMDb, Alien is rated higher.
Oh,
It's
really?
like number 42 all time, and Aliens is like 59 or something
I
like
feel
that.
like 70% of the time, any critic makes me mad.
They're usually right. Not always, but they're usually right.
I mean, they're honest. Even, like, some movies have flaws. Even perfect ones. Well, there is no perfect ones.
yeah.
But
No.
good ones have
Avatar,
flaws.
perfect.
Yeah, sometimes I don't like the critics because I feel like they can be pretentious, but most of the time, if you go to Rotten Tomatoes and you see it has a 95% rating, it's probably going to be a good movie. If you go to Rotten,
The new Mission Impossible has 95% Rotten Tomatoes, which
Really?
makes you kind of want to watch it.
I already want to
but
watch
if you
it.
go and Rotten Tomatoes has got a 40% rating, you can probably assume it's not going to be a great movie. That doesn't mean you don't have to like the movie. I like bad movies, some of them, right?
Predator 2 is
No, I don't like
alright.
Predator.
Pluto
2.
Nash in 3D.
I haven't seen it. All right, anyway, number 2 on listener choices was Predator. And number 1, of course, E.T. Number 1, according to our listeners. Number 1, according to Cade and myself. And
Number 3.
0.
number 3, according to Jet.
Predator was the one he left off of his list.
And I did too. All right, moving on. We have the
Pew, pew, pew,
good
pew,
Glenn Solomon fun fact of the week.
pew, pew, pew,
Good.
pew.
So I have a little fun fact about space, since we were talking about aliens here. In space, nobody can hear you sneeze. Streptococcus mitis, it's a bacterium that infects the nose and throat, was sent to the moon on accident on the Surveyor 3 probe. Somebody probably sneezed on it, and it got sent into space. And it survived, and the little bacteria bugs were still alive when Apollo 12 astronauts went and retrieved the probe 2.5 years later. On the moon, they were still alive.
Seriously?
Yes.
How did they survive?
Bacteria can survive everything except for antibiotics.
Is
So-
it in the center of our galaxy like a big black hole?
Probably. I don't know enough to confirm that or not. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe. There's got to be something that it's all like orbiting
Yeah,
around.
it's like, what's
Why do
there?
I always hear about Apollo 13 and not Apollo 12?
Because
or
Apollo
11?
13 was a movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Why was it 13?
That's just the one they decided to make the movie on.
Why couldn't it be any other one?
Because that story made a good movie.
They
It's
made
based on a
Apollo
true
18.
story. It's based on the true
Have you
story
seen
of
it?
the Apollo. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Everybody's
everyone's
seen
seen
it.
Is it good?
It's
Yeah.
great. Tom Hanks. Yeah. Anyway, after our fun fact, Jet always cringes when I play that. The more you know. All right, Jet. It's time for Jet's Pun of the Week.
Okay, I got something cooking.
All right, what do you got?
What am I? I have 3 eyes, 5 tentacles, 600 pimples, and an ugly face. What am I?
I don't know. What are you?
Ugly.
What?
Ugly.
Ugly. I'm ugly.
Okay. And I don't know what happened to your
So
pun of the week. It just gets worse like every week, man.
Guaco, what does the violin say?
Oh, I don't.
Piano.
I don't even remember. All right, Jet. Thank you for your pun. Thank you for your contribution this week.
That's a good one.
I would like to thank everybody for taking the time to
Oh,
listen.
I have another one.
Okay, what you got?
What's brown and gooey and on a stick? A stick.
No, you didn't. You didn't do that right.
No.
What's brown and sticky?
What?
A stick. That's the joke.
What'd you say? What's brown and gooey and
On a stick.
Let's just move on.
All right. Thank you to everybody for taking the time to listen. Please check out our Facebook page, 5 to 1 Podcast. You can tweet us at 5 to 1 Podcast. Our Twitter's blowing up, y'all. You need to get on there and follow us on Twitter. We also have an Instagram account where it's not really blowing up, but we have a decent amount of followers, and I post some cool pictures there and stuff. So it's 5 to 1 Podcast there too. You can give us your. Oh, you know what, guys? I wanted to play this clip. We'll have to do it next episode because it's too late now. We got a big shout out from the Grady's and the Best of Fives, their show that they have there, and I recorded it and I wanted to play it. I showed it to you, Jet, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I'll have to do that next episode. But yeah, follow us on our social media platforms. Give us your opinions there. We actually got an idea for our next episode from one of our followers, Renee Aguilar. So thank you to Renee for the suggestion for our next episode, which, Jet, it's going to be what? Well, wait, let me set you up better. Hold on, so you can do your little messed up part. Please join us next time on 5 to 1 for our discussion on
Top 5. I don't know. I don't remember.
songs that have been remade.
Songs that have been remade.
We should do top 5 like condiments or something like that.
Mustard,
mayo.
salsa.
Relish.
Okay, we're done. Thanks, everybody.
Love you.
Love you. Love you. Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you. Love you.